The problem we're trying to solve is to understand why water quality is deteriorating in many of our man-made and natural waters in Australia. It's not deteriorating everywhere, but there seems to be more and more algal blooms occurring. There seem to be more problems with very turbid waters. And of course, the waters are also heating up due to climate change. And then we get massive rainstorms, we get bushfires. After bushfires, we get ash flowing into rivers and lakes and reservoirs that creates problems of their own. Sometimes when we have floods, we have black water events. So that means lots of water on the land filtrates through the soil, becomes black because of the dissolved organic carbon. And then we get black waters, which can transform ecosystems as well. So the idea that we wanted to pursue here is, can we use the existing satellite data archives, for instance in Digital Earth Australia, to see if we can find patterns in, for instance, changes in land use and then an effect on water quality? Or can we see are there patterns in weather and algal blooms, for instance? Or do we see a correlation between flooding events and then maybe blooms or large amounts of suspended matter? So the idea for this hackathon is to say, can we explore, using existing Earth observation data archives at Digital Earth Australia, can we explore connections, correlations, causality between these various aspects of the environment and then the water quality that comes out of it? Now, I would like to advise everybody here to also listen to Alex Held's presentation on the AquaWatch program, because I also work on the AquaWatch program. In this case, I'm actually part of the Smart Satellite Collaborative Research Center, collaborating with CSIRO on this topic. So the AquaWatch Australia is a big mission between CSIRO and the Smart Satellite CRC, where we will be equipping Australia's inland waters with in situ instrumentation, with smart data analytics, maybe with drones, but especially also with new Earth observation satellites. So this is a very exciting program. We're just beginning with the program, and we would love to have some early demonstrations of what can be done with Earth observation, and we think this is an excellent opportunity. As an example, in Canberra, the Canberra lakes are unfortunately well known for their algal blooms, such as Lake Burley-Griffin, Lake Tuggeranong, other lakes in Canberra, also Googong Dam, which is on the border with New South Wales. They all have algal blooms. It would be interesting to look at the data archives on Digital Earth Australia and look, for instance, at their chlorophyll index product, which gives you an indication of where algal blooms are occurring, and create a tool that gets that data from Digital Earth Australia, packages it in such a way that water quality management authorities can look at trends in their water bodies, can look at 30 years of data for Lake Burley-Griffin, or 30 years of data for Googong Dam, maybe for all of ACT and surrounding waters. But it doesn't have to be just ACT. You could also apply it in Tasmania, or you could apply it in the Southwest Australia coastal lakes, or in the New South Wales coastal lakes, or in Moreton Bay, or you can do it in the Northern Territory. So you could do it for all of Australia if you like, but that's a very large data set. But we would love to see what's possible with existing data sets, because that gives us a clue to what invest into the future. But it also gives us some ideas about what may be done with this data already. As an example, in Digital Earth Australia, there is a fractional cover product. This gives you, for all of Australia, over the last 30 years, satellite images of bare soil, non-photosynthesizing vegetation and synthesizing vegetation. Could you link that to algal blooms occurring in lakes in these areas? For instance, was there a change from vegetation to bare soil, which led to algal blooms, or the other way around? Those kind of relationships. Could you relate it to weather patterns, to precipitation, so to rainfall events, which lead to soil moisture, which lead to runoff into lakes and reservoirs? Is there a relationship with that? Is there a relationship with day temperatures and night temperatures? So, of course, there are relationships between these, and we do understand some of the physical models behind it. But it would be great to approach it from the data perspective. Say, okay, we've got these large amounts of data. Can you harness these data? And can you compare them? And can you put them in some form of analysis so that you say, hey, when this goes up, that goes down. Or when this goes up, for instance, the algal blooms go up. But when vegetation cover goes up, the algal blooms go down. Those kind of aspects would be really good for a hackathon, because the data is already there and we haven't fully explored what's possible with this data, because people tend to focus on one of the data products, for instance, on Digital Earth Australia. But if you go into Digital Earth Australia, you'll find many data products. And can you merge them in some smart manner? So this is some of the ideas that I think might be useful for this hackathon.